Right now, will Camp Randall join in on a growing trend in the Big Ten, allowing alcohol sales during games?
And state Republicans say they plan to scrap the governor's plan to fund road construction, what they want to replace it with. That story straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. If you've been to Camp Randall on game day, you might remember that buying a beer is not an option.
But as more and more Big Ten schools, including Illinois, Indiana, and Rutgers, add beer on tap for general seating areas, will Wisconsin follow suit? Our Maddie O'Neill live at the stadium with some answers tonight. Maddie?
Hi, Eric and Charlotte. Yeah, half of Big Ten schools will have beer in their stadiums for football games this fall. And even though we're pretty well known for drinking here in Wisconsin, the short answer is no, you likely won't be able to get a beer at a Badger game here at Camp Randall anytime soon. But changes may be coming to alcohol sales at other events.
Just the energy, the crowd is really fun.
Fans will tell you there's nothing quite like game day at Camp Randall.
It's electric, it's energetic, it's pretty special.
This is standing room only, essentially, in here.
That game day spirit extends to nearby bars, including Jordan's Big Ten Pub.
They're definitely our busiest 7 days of the year. It's a fun atmosphere, a lot of fun to work game days.
The alcohol served here doesn't flow to the 80,000 fans in the stadium itself.
I wouldn't have any problems with them selling beer at the stadium. I think that people are drinking prior to coming into the stadium. I really just don't see the difference.
I think it's a good decision to not sell alcohol at Camp Randall. There's enough going on outside that they can enjoy the game without it.
At the end of the day, it's Chancellor Rebecca Blank who calls the shots. According to University Communications, no changes are expected around general seating alcohol service for Badger games, saying in a statement, the addition of alcohol to general seating areas isn't needed to improve that experience and could detract from it for our students and fans.
The number one issue we deal with is alcohol and the behavior associated with alcohol use.
Mark Levicott, Director of Communications for the University Police Department, says UW-Madison is on the higher end when it comes to alcohol-related issues at football games compared to other schools.
We are one of the larger universities in the Big Ten, though. We also do have a culture of beer and alcohol here in Wisconsin.
Levicott says while adding beer sales may work well for other schools to boost revenue or ticket sales, he believes Camp Randall's current system is working.
People come to the games because of the game and the Badgers and the excitement. I don't think they're going to come to the game because we have alcohol sales.
University Communications says a work group will consider adding alcohol sales to special events here and at the Cole Center, things like concerts. The results of that review will be released later this summer.
Madeline O'Neill reporting live outside Camp Randall. Maddie, thank you.
Republican lawmakers are ironing out a plan to fund road repairs in Wisconsin. The Republican co-chairs of the legislature's Finance Committee told reporters today they plan to scrap Governor Evers' proposed gas tax increase and replace it with their alternative plan. That new plan would increase road funding by $483 million, which is nearly $150 million less than what the governor is proposing. It would double title fees when buying a car and increasing the vehicle registration fee by $10. President Trump today officially signs a package deal that would deliver more than $19 billion in disaster relief to communities still trying to recover from recent hurricanes, fires, and flooding. Those bills were delayed for months due to political infighting.
An update to a story we told you about yesterday. The officer at the center of a leaked video is now on restricted duty pending an investigation. The video shows officers responding to the home of a 17-year-old Madison boy. The teen was experiencing a mental health emergency, and officers were called to help transport him to the hospital. He reportedly exhibited threatening behavior and was restrained and punched multiple times by officers. A spokesperson for the teen involved describes the video as violence against a black child, and it's the focus of many social media comments. However, Koval says that's not the issue here at hand.
I think we have to call what was the behavior that the subject showed, was the officer's behavior consistent with the training that they are supposed to get? And the race issue is sort of subliminal in everyone's mind, but I hope that ultimately we're looking at this based on the objective reasonableness of the facts.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and other city leaders have called the incident disturbing. The Madison Police Department has launched an internal investigation. An external investigation will also take place.
The Sun Prairie Area School District is starting a task force on bullying after multiple incidents in the district. Here's one from just yesterday. 2 girls got into a fight. This was at Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School. Their parents say the girls were bullying each other on social media all year long. And now the district and the board are starting a task force on bullying. They will examine current policies and figure out best practices moving forward. They say community support is key. To weather now. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. A look at our first alert forecast. Gary.
Weather is pretty quiet today across much of our viewing area, other than a couple of thunder showers over far southwestern Wisconsin. The next couple of days will be nice as well. On satellite and radar, not much going on out there, and that's good news if you like quiet weather. Our high in Madison hit 84 degrees today, but it was as warm as 88 in Mineral Point and 86 in Boscobel. Current temperatures are in the upper 60s to lower 70s, except notice a lake breeze, keeping temperatures in the 50s closer to Lake Michigan. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the mid-50s. Look for skies to be sunny for tomorrow, and another warm day's on the way with a high of 81. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
A large police response tonight. This was at the Janesville Walmart around 5:30. Rock County Dispatch says they responded to reports of an armed person in the parking lot there. Portions of nearby Deerfield Street were closed off while they were on the scene. We are hoping to learn more details about what happened tonight. Stay with News 3 Now and channel3000.com. for further updates.
The family of a bicyclist killed along Raymond Road 4 years ago has been awarded $15 million in a wrongful death lawsuit. That is according to the family attorney. In June of 2015, 23-year-old Emily Zhu was biking on a trail on Madison's west side. She was crossing Raymond Road when a car hit her. Today, a jury decided the driver of that car, Brian Hodgson, was 100% at fault. The Madison Police Department is welcoming its newest canine to the force. Community members got to meet Canine Archie today at the Midtown Station. He's a dual-purpose dog, meaning he can do tracking and apprehensions. Archie and his handler, Officer Emily House, graduated from a 6-week school in Michigan.
Sir Paul McCartney is in Madison tonight. He is performing at the Cole Center. His plane arrived around 5 this evening at Dane County Regional. There he is, greeting folks as he got off the plane. This is his first show ever in Madison. It is part of his Freshen Up tour. After tonight, he will head to Lambeau Field for a Saturday night concert in front of 50,000 fans. Another music legend, 6-time Grammy Award winner, Dr. John, has died at the age of 77. According to a family statement by his publicist, Dr. John died early this morning of a heart attack. The New Orleans native was born Malcolm John Rebenak. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 2011. Again, he was 77 years old. Today marks the 75th anniversary of the invasion of Normandy, known as one of the turning points in World War II.
Today, world leaders gathered there for a day of remembrance and honor for the sacrifices made.
On this day, 75 years ago, 10,000 men shed their blood and thousands sacrificed their lives for their brothers, for their countries, and for the survival of liberty.
French President Emmanuel Macron presented a number of U.S. veterans with the Legion of Honor, France's highest award. The ceremonies also included cannons being fired over Omaha Beach and several ceremonial flyovers. If you want to see artifacts that were actually there in Normandy, the Wisconsin Veterans Museum has opened a new temporary exhibit. The gear being featured was worn by a Milwaukee native who was in the Navy at the time. It will be in the lobby through the end of the month.
EAA Air Venture, the museum in Oshkosh, full of activities marking this day in history as well. A display takes visitors through World War II with vintage items, many donated to the museum by veterans. The D-Day exhibit is designed to give a historical perspective, allowing veterans to share their stories to future generations. Still ahead tonight, ahead of this weekend, Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk. We'll meet a woman who will be taking part for the 3rd time.
How she's changing the face of metastatic breast cancer when we come back.
We are sharing the stories of women you will see in this year's Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk. All month long, it's our series, Why We Walk. And tonight, we're introducing you to a woman changing the face of metastatic breast cancer.
You'd never know Lori Nelson has stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, and she'd like to keep it that way. Our Christina Lori has her story.
What does a woman living with breast cancer look like to you?
I think people are shocked. They're all like, oh, you look great.
Odds are Lori Nelson does not fit that image.
And I'm thinking, what am I supposed to look like?
She's part of a growing community of Madison women, fighting and beating the disease, even though they'll likely never defeat it.
The timeline as of then is about half the people live 2 or 3 years. Or less, and half people live longer than that.
Lori is now part of that second group. She's been living with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer for 3 years.
I like to call it stable Mabel.
In 2016, she found a cancerous lump on her breast that spread to spots on her spine and her hip.
So we just kind of proceed until cancer gets sneaky and moves around the drugs I'm on.
She takes 2 pills, forms of oral chemo, to keep her cancer from spreading more. Side effects aside,
fatigue, nausea. I just think my energy level isn't what it used to be.
They're saving her life.
They say that with all the research and things that are out there now, that it's not quite like if you were living with diabetes or something like that, but it's that same kind of management of medications and things like that you could just kind of proceed with life.
Dr. Mark Burkhardt helps women like Lori manage their metastatic cancer through his work at the Carbone Cancer Center.
The future is better than the past. We can only give you the timeline of what happened to the people 10 years ago. And among the people who live longer than that, there are some people who live very much longer.
He's now trying to understand why and how some Madison women are surviving 40 years after their initial diagnosis.
We think if we can understand how they have survived so long, we can develop strategies to help other women survive longer.
The problem, there's not enough local survivors. That's why Burkhardt is expanding his longevity study, looking for more participants nationwide.
We're interested in a future where there's what we call a precision approach, where we can better predict for each individual whether a medicine we're going to give them is going to be effective.
3 years post-diagnosis, Lori is living her new normal.
In my mind, I already have it, and it's not ever going away. It's not ever going to change. It's only going to get worse someday.
For now, she's not letting cancer consume her mind or her body.
I try and keep it in its space in my head and just try and live life.
You can find her and her Livin' with Lori team at this weekend's More Than Pink Walk, working to make treatment options more accessible for the 6% of women who, like her, are fighting stage 4.
In small ways, we're there already. In other ways, we're a long ways away.
Taking each day as it comes.
It's hard to make something like, oh, in 5 years. I have yet to be able to make a plan for 5 years. Just because I don't think my head lets me.
A lesson we can all learn.
Nobody knows how long they're going to be here. So, I've got a sentence to me at my name, I guess, but I'm not ready to give in.
So she'll keep on living, loving, laughing.
That's why I kind of went with the stable Mabel. I was Steady Freddy, but it's like I'm not really a guy, so I should go with the girl's name. And I like Mabel.
Changing the way you think of women living with breast cancer.
This year will be Lori's 3rd race for the cure. Her team, Livin' for Lori, has raised more than $2,000 for the race so far.
If you'd like to help her team, head to our website, channel3000.com, for links on how you can donate. If you'd like to participate in the walk this Saturday, you can still register for that as well.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now, and the weather's looking good for the race, right?
How about temperatures like in the 60s and 70s in the morning?
Nice.
I think people
Sunny
will be happy
skies.
with that.
We've had times where it's rained, but this is going to be a good year for it. So
Good.
you have no excuse not to be out there. Temperature is going to stay around 80 right through the weekend. But today, even though most of us had sunny skies, look what happened just west of Platteville. A couple cold air funnel clouds formed from a little thunder shower that popped up there. This picture sent in from Jason Gethy of Platteville, and you can see the funnel never reached the ground, didn't cause any damage. These can happen every once in a while when you have unstable air aloft. There's no front or anything to really develop into a stronger thunderstorm cell. So these are usually pretty innocuous, but if they do touch the ground, they can cause some minor damage with winds 50 or 60 miles per hour. But you can see now things have really settled down. There were a couple of thunder showers earlier that just kind of dissipated. They're now in southern Iowa, a couple of thunder showers up west of the Twin Cities. And that's pretty much about it. Live view from the WISC Skycam. Boy, it's just very quiet around here. Good night to be out there. The mosquitoes really haven't taken hold yet. I think in the next couple of days, we'll start noticing them more and more. But as we look at the almanac for today, high temperature hit 84 degrees, low temperature at 57. Right now, our temperature is still pretty mild at 70. Skies are partly cloudy, winds out of the east-southeast at 8 miles per hour. Dew point temperature right at 60 degrees. As that drops into the 50s, we'll see a little more comfortable weather for tonight. Temperatures were in the 80s through much of Wisconsin away from Lake Michigan. Milwaukee only hit 65 degrees. They had a lakeshore breeze that kept them cool all day long. Out to the west, temperatures were in the upper 80s to lower 90s over parts of southwestern Minnesota. And current temperatures are still pretty mild in the 70s to our west, 60s here. But again, that lake breeze keeping temperatures in the 50s from Chicago northward through Milwaukee and into Door County. Dew point temperatures, though, are right around 60 here to our north. They're in the 50s. That drier air slowly will settle to the south and make us feel a little more comfortable over the next couple of days. The main storm track is split into two. The jet stream, the polar jet stream to our north, so that keeps our weather generally warm, keeps the cold air locked up in Canada. But the southern branch of the jet stream, the subtropical jet stream, is shifted to the south. That's where most of the moisture is, and as long as that stays to our south, it keeps us away from the main storm track. So in the short term, I think things are going to be pretty quiet around here. The next chance of rain will come from these showers and thunderstorms moving through Montana and western Wyoming. Those will reach us sometime perhaps on Sunday. In the short term, there's a stationary front to our south and west, dividing a little more humid air to the south and west, and a weak cold front up to the north. Temperatures north of that second cold front generally in the lower 60s, but you can see really not having much of an effect on the weather. As that next weather system starts moving eastward, it probably will reach us sometime during the day on Saturday or Saturday night with a shower or thunderstorm chance either Saturday night into Sunday. So our forecast for tonight calls for mostly clear skies, temperature dropping off to about 54 degrees by morning, so a very pleasant night. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, another warm day, high temperature reaching 81. On future track, those temperatures dropping off into the mid-50s overnight. Lots of sunshine for tomorrow, and as long as you're away from Lake Michigan, temperatures will reach the lower 80s. Tomorrow night, temperatures drop back into the mid-50s, so another comfortable night, and look for high temperatures again in the lower 80s for Saturday. Another great day. 7 to 10 day forecast. Sunday, a chance of a shower or thunderstorm, high temperature still around 80. A little cooler for the middle part of next week. Some shower and thunderstorm chances Wednesday, and maybe only upper 60s for highs on Thursday, but then right back into the 70s after that. Next thunderstorm chance probably Sunday the following weekend.
Looking pretty good.
Sure does.
Good stretch. Gary, thank you.
Okay.
Sun Prairie and Belmont have big days at the WIA State Softball Tournament at Goodman Diamond. We'll have the highlights coming your way next in sports.
The Sun Prairie Cardinals are into the Division I semifinals at the WIA State Softball Tournament. The Cardinals worked overtime in their quarterfinal game as the defending champions play the Waukesha North Stars in the Division I quarterfinals today. Sun Prairie was leading 1-0 bottom of the seventh when Maddie Gardner threw a pitch over the head of the catcher. The run scores and we go to extra innings tied at 1. Top of the 10th, Sun Prairie breaks the tie. Grace Radlin's grounder goes right through the wickets of the shortstop. Run scores, it's 2-1 Cardinals. Later in the inning, Sabrina Ryder singles to drive in Radlin. Maddie Gardner strikes out 16 in 10 innings. Final score in 10, Sun Prairie 4, Waukesha North 1. The Cardinals into the state semis.
We did not give up. We fought to the end. Yep, we got in a couple binds throughout the game, and we battled back. The girls never lost any momentum from the beginning to the end, and they did a great job.
It's really great. We know that our road is going to be as easy as it was probably last year, but we know it's going to be hard. We know that anything can happen, and that if we keep working, we can pull through.
Sun Prairie will play Pulaski in the second Division I semifinal tomorrow night, scheduled for about 9 o'clock. The first semi at 7 tomorrow night has Kenosha Bradford Reuther against undefeated and number 1 ranked Oshkosh North. Tonight, Belmont plays Tri-County in the Division V semifinals. Belmont got off to a quick start in the first inning with a little help from the Penguins. That's Tri-County's nickname. I've got it. No one's got it. 2-run score. It's 4-0 Belmont. Another 4 spot in the 5th. Abby Althaus drives in the runs with a single at the middle. Belmont sets a Division V record with 15 hits in the game. The final score, Belmont 15, Tri-County nothing in 6 innings. The Braves face undefeated Blair Taylor in the Division V championship game Saturday morning, 8 a.m. at Goodman Diamond. Tomorrow, Poinette plays in Division III at noon, Monroe in Division II at about 4:30, and Sun Prairie again in Division I around 9. Brewers finally figured out a way to beat the Miami Marlins after losing the first 2 games of the series at Miller Park. Home runs a big part of the Brewers' win today. Christian Yelich got his 23rd. Mike Moustakas hit 2 homers today. Moustakas now up to 16 homers on the season. And Brewer pitcher Freddie Peralta had a great day. Boy, a bunch of strikeouts. He had 9 Ks in his 6 innings of work. Final score, Brewers 5, Marlins 1. Brewers host the Pittsburgh Pirates over the weekend. At Warner Park, the Madison Mallards get back on track with a 5-2 win over the Green Bay Booyah. The Mallards are now 9-1 in the season. Tomorrow night, the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders are at Warner Park at 6:35. Tonight in Milwaukee, Badger running back Jonathan Taylor named Wisconsin College Athlete of the Year at the Wisconsin Sports Awards at Fiserv Forum. Monona Grove's McKenna Warnock named the Girls Basketball Player of the Year in Wisconsin. And Badger football recruit Leo Chenal is the High School Football Player of the Year tonight. And Game 5, Stanley Cup Final in Boston. Bruins stunned by the Blues. The veteran Dave Perron gets a big third-period goal. Final score, Blues 2, Bruins 1. St. Louis leads that series 3-2, and we'll be right back.
June 6, 1944, you've often said was one of the most important forecasts ever, right?
The meteorologist gave the final go or no-go for General Eisenhower. There was a huge storm that caused the D-Day invasion to be delayed by a day, and then eventually it was postponed. He gave the go-ahead, even though they were in the middle of a big storm. But the meteorologist said that there'd be a 24-hour period of marginal enough conditions that they could do the invasion before another storm would hit. And fortunately, it worked out. So
technology was a little different back then.
So, no weather satellites, no radar. You know, a couple of surface reports. But I wrote a story with Dave Caulfield on our Channel 3000 website if you're interested in more information on that historic forecast.
I know Gary loves weather history as well as forecasting. Thanks for sharing that with us. Thanks for joining us tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Do something, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.